switch here. The article is entitled, quote, "I left the love of my life because I thought I could do better. Now I am childless and alone at 42. Guys, this sounds almost too bad to be true. It sounds like an article on a red pill porn site. But this appears to be the genuine article and a real story. So the article was written 6 years ago on the Daily Mail by a woman named Karen Cross. And you guys can access the article. I'm going to put it in the description. Now, Miss Cross isn't an author. She's not a blogger. She's not a YouTuber. And she doesn't do videos or anything like that. So she doesn't have an online presence other than this one article. So let's go ahead and get started here. Laughing and dancing, she says, pardon me. With my fiancé at our engagement party, I thought I might actually burst with happiness. Surrounded by our family and friends, I looked at Matthew and felt certain I had met the man I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Quite simply, he was my soulmate. Now, first off, there's no such thing as a soulmate. Right? To give you an example, most people are familiar with the show Mad Men and the main character Don Draper, played by John Hammond. One of his most famous quotes on the show was red pill to the core. He said to a woman, "What you call love was invented by guys like me to sell nylons." What's the same as the word soulmate. The word soulmate was also invented by guys like Don Draper to sell high-priced jewelry and expensive gifts. She's your soulmate. Buy her that $5,000 ring. She's your soulmate. Buy her a $10,000 tennis bracelet. She's your soulmate. Show her she's your soulmate with a $6,000 necklace in our new soulmate collection. It's all BS. The word soulmate is a myth. Just like unconditional love is a myth. Doesn't exist. You're not going to find your person, guys. Women don't understand this because they're just emotional creatures, but men, we have the logic and pragmatism to understand that we're never going to find our person. Okay? What we do is we find a female to mold and shape to our specifications, and then we maintain it. There's nothing easy about that. There's nothing effortless about that. Love in relationships is hard work. This is why most women pull the ripcord the minute her boyfriend or husband upsets her, or worse, she finds her soulmate. I remember a long time ago, I was on Yahoo Answers, and one girl said, "Oh, I've been married for 8 years and I have 2 kids, but," or no, she said, "What if you're married for 8 years and 2 kids, but then you find your soulmate?" Okay? Guys, she is not your best friend. Oh, I'm sorry, she's not your best friend. She is not your soulmate. She is your girlfriend. She is your wife. Like Steve the Dean Williams says, I don't want her love, I want her respect. You get her respect, you get her love. Okay? That's how it works. If you have her respect, then you can get her love, not the other way around. And you don't have to be her soulmate to get it. Let's continue. We were desperately in love, she said, and had our future life together and mapped out. First, we would buy to save our home, then would come a romantic wedding ceremony, and children would follow it.
Become a stone cold player who gets same night sex with hot girls on the regular with How to Master the Game. Links in the description.
All seemed naive. So simple to my naive 19-year-old self. I smugly told myself, the girl who had it all. So why, 20 years later, do I find myself single, childless, and tormented by the fact that I have thrown away the only true chance of happiness I ever had? You know, it's interesting how she now defines being 19 and in love as the girl who had it all. And make no mistake, guys, she did. She did have it all. If you're a young, pretty girl and you find a man to marry, you do indeed have it all. A man who is willing to marry you, okay, and a chance to start a family at a young age, that's a girl who has it all. Now, she asks, well, why do I find myself single and childless 20 years later? Well, the answer is simple, Miss Cross. You, like millions of other Western women, bought into the ridiculous idea that you can put off marriage in your 20s, sleep around in your prime fertile years, and pick up right where you left off and still have the same options at 42 as you did when you were 22. That's why. She continues, 8 years after that wonderful engagement party in 1989, I walked away from dear devoted Matthew, dear devoted loyal Matthew, pardon me, convinced that somewhere out there a better, more exciting, more fulfilling life awaited me. Only there wasn't. Now I am 42 and have all the trappings of success, a high-flying career, financial security, and a home in the heart of London's trendy Notting Hill. But I don't have the one thing I crave more than anything, a loving husband and family. You see, she says, I never did find another man who offered everything Matthew did, who understood me and loved me like he did, someone who was my best friend as well as my lover. Today, seeing friends with their children around, seeing their children with around them, I'm rusty, guys, it's been a little while, bear with me. Today, seeing friends with their children around them tortures me, as I know I am unlikely to have a family of my own. I think about the times Matthew and I talked about having children, even discussing the names we would choose. I cannot believe I turned my back on so much happiness. Instead, here I am, back on the singles market looking for the very thing I discarded barely with a backward glance all those years ago. I know I can't have Matthew back, she says, and it hurts when I hear snippets of information about his life and how content he is. 15 years after I ended our relationship, he is happily married. Karen Cross allowed herself to be seduced by feminism, guys. She allowed feminism to sucker her into hitting the eject button and living the party life for a decade and a half without reading the fine print that says, warning, the pursuit of this lifestyle may end up in loneliness, regret, cats, and wine. It was feminism that convinced her that somewhere out there was a more exciting life. And feminism, to its credit, was right. Listen, let's not pretend that sleeping around is not more exciting than starting a family for a woman, because it is. The party lifestyle for girls is one rush after the next. Sleeping with 10 guys in 10 days is a lot more exciting than sleeping with one guy, your husband, for 10 years and beyond. But where Karen went wrong is thinking that this life was also fulfilling. There's nothing fulfilling about getting ran through by random dudes. There is nothing fulfilling about the bad boy you slept with the night before never calling or texting again. There's nothing fulfilling about the fear of pissing a plus sign. There's nothing fulfilling about getting an abortion so you can continue to climb up the corporate ladder and face raising a kid as a single mother. There's nothing fulfilling about being single and childless at 42, no matter how much success and money you have as a woman. Now, a 42-year-old man who has a successful career, financial stability, who is single, that man is definitely fulfilled. But Donovan, a single woman with no kids can be fulfilled at 42 with a career. No, they can't. You want to know why? Because women need men. We as men, we don't need women. At 42, a man who has his shit together and he's got any pickup woman he wants. But at 42, a financially successful woman doesn't have any options other than the occasional one-night stand or 3-month friends with benefits arrangement that abruptly ends because he found a 23-year-old version of her. 42-year-old men aren't writing articles or doing videos asking why they're single and childless at 42. No, these guys are out here telling men how kick-ass their lives are. Gentlemen, women are biologically and genetically designed to want and need a family, a husband and children. They're not designed to be men because they're women. If a woman acts like a man, her life will end up like a man. You see this all the time, guys. You got these chicks in their late 30s, early 40s who live the high-value male life of sleeping around, making money, traveling, advancing in their careers, and they're all miserable. They're all on some sort of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication because they just can't figure out why they cry themselves to sleep every night. Well, the reason is that they are going against their biological imperative, which is to lock down a man while they're young to start a family. Living life as a man isn't what women should be doing, which is why the ones that do end up on medication. Now, as she sees her friends getting married and having children, she's regretful that she didn't stick it out with Matthew, who is now married. That could have been her, and she threw it all away for a triple-digit notch count, a 5 to 6 figure salary, and a cold, empty bed she sleeps in every night. The funny thing is that she did this. She says she did this without a backward glance. This was easy for her. She was engaged to Matthew, and dudes kept hitting on her, and she succumbed like most women do these days.